I think you guys should be here all the time. I never realized you had such a neat meeting.
Well, we do that every now and again when we expect, you know.
And you had a nice turnout, and that really makes my heart warm to see that we have so many people here that actually care, which is really super nice. There you are, sir. I sure appreciate that. Down here, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Now, thank you. One for the table here. Okay, what I'm gonna do on the rest of these, after I get done speaking, anybody can pick one up, take home. Because like I've asked the mayor that when we're done and you have some basic questions, I'd like to be able to come back in 2 weeks. Like you guys had a chance to do some thinking and some studying, you can talk again with me. Before we get going on this, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna compliment one of my other commissioners, Commissioner Vicki Baines here. The reason we have money down here is because she's fought hard to get money down in Great Harbor County. When this flood thing was made, without her fight, the money would have stayed up in Lewis County to fix I-5 and all that kind of garbage. And she's made sure there's funds down here. The difference in opinion I have with some of you, and probably Mrs. Raines too, is that I think that the project is being done backwards. Okay, the reason why is the dam by itself is not possible to do the flood control you people are looking for. You have engineered studies by the Flood Authority that states that as such. Not that you can't make a beautiful dam. You can make a beautiful dam nice and high, clear up to the sky. The valley behind the dam is too small and won't hold enough water. Okay, now, I don't have a problem with you guys having a dam. My problem is, I want to see some of that money for that dam to fix a few culverts. Not all, we don't have the money to fix them all. So, what a person has culvert-wise, and I'm just gonna read these to you, and then there's stuff, and anybody, if you're sharp, leave a message, and I will get copies to you. On C Street, we have two 48-inch culverts, okay? They're the ones that was replaced when you had the dam break, okay? And then the next street down E Street, you have three 48-inch culverts and one 12-inch. Now, 48-inch culvert, under perfect conditions, has a water flow of 100 cubic feet per second, okay? So you got 200 on that first street. Engineers study said that on 100 year, it would be 499 cubic feet of water running down the creek. Now, my own personal opinion, because over in Aberdeen, we got a creek, Fry Creek, like your Mill Creek. I got up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I had 6 inches of water in my kitchen. So I know where this stuff comes from. Undersized culverts. Okay, so you got 400. Let's say that was a 50 year. You say you got 400 cubic feet of water a second coming down the creek, but your culvert's only going to handle 200. What happened to it? It ran over the bank, it ran down the streets, all the way clear down to the Underground Highway. It was a horrible mess. Okay, you go to the next, you got 3 48s and an 18. Now that gives you 312 cubic feet. That's closer, it's not quite there. The rest of the culverts that you have going down through there are 60 inches. They'll handle 175 cubic feet a second each. So that's 350. That would probably take care of a 25-year flood or anything of this here nature going through. We do have one that has a problem right down by the mayor's house. The last one in the line, the creek bed is about 14 inches higher and inside the culvert, so it blocks part of the culvert off. To cure that one, you wouldn't have to change the culvert, but you'd have to dig some of the creek bed out so that you'd have full flow in that culvert. By making measurements in that culvert will only handle about 200 cubic feet a second. Again, we had a lot of nice flooding right down by the mayor's house. Okay, so now, when we had that massive flood, you had water down here, just past the last culvert is the county maintenance shop. I mean, you can stand at the last culvert and see the maintenance shop, okay? Bone dry. it never got water in it, even during that flood condition. And I know you're shaking your head, but I got 13 guys who work there, well, we never got no water in any of our buildings in that flat lot.
Video show.
Well, I would love to see it. I really seriously would, sir, because I was over there during the middle when the tide gate opened up and stuff, and walked out, I walked out into the yard, and while you had flooding through the rest of town from that last culvert up, it was dry there. And I was there and seen it myself. And so what I'm coming here and looking at, engineers say that dam by itself cannot do it. Okay, now, I don't know, I know you're sitting there shaking your head. What engineers do you have to say otherwise? Here's the study that you guys hired, the flood people hired. Okay, the flood authority hired them, okay, and says that you don't have enough water storage, you don't have enough room in the valley to handle a water on a 25 or 50 or 100-year flood. Now,
Based on assumed models.
Huh?
Assumed model.
okay, now you're telling me, say with 400 cubic feet that are coming down here, and the pipes will handle 200, it's not gonna flood? The
We're not gonna
culverts
send that
undersized?
much down there.
Huh?
We're not gonna send that much down there.
You're not?
No.
Well, the study says at a 25-year, it will hold water back for 20 minutes before going over the top of the dam.
You should look at the last paragraph too.
I did. I got it here. And the last paragraph down here says, on summary, it's very difficult to judge whether the project represents an effective use of limited flood funds available to the Chehalis River Basin. You know, and then it says there, to date, there has been no engineering to analyze if the dam works. Now, I didn't hire these here people. This is the report that these people have.
And they had not looked at this either.
Well, I'm bringing this forward. I didn't come here to pick a fight, but I come here for, oh no, you know, I'm giving you a difference of opinion. If that makes you angry because someone doesn't agree with you, I want the best use of them flood dollars that we have down here. If we can spend some of that flood dollars down here to fix a couple culverts and relieve the flooding of the people along there, that's super for me. If we build something and then you come out later on and you say, well, it looked really good and we spent millions of dollars and it doesn't work, that's a waste of taxpayers' money.
And that's in the Mill Creek multi-objective plan. That's part of the project, which we have told you before.
It's part, but you're talking about doing the culverts down the road. 5 years, 10 years? When?
As funding becomes available.
Well, I'm saying let's take some of the funding that we got right now and take care of the culverts. There's a difference in opinion. I really appreciate the mayor letting me come over here and presented this to the people so they hear there's more than one side. And that's, to me, very, very important. I would love to come over sometime and see your video of the shop flooded.
It's on Facebook.
I got 13 people working there that said it didn't get a drop inside any of the shops.
You didn't say it got in the shop, it got in the property.
Well,
What shop?
County shop.
the county shops, they stay dry. You know something? It's flat. The property is just as flat as the streets out there. It's not sitting up in the air, it's not jacked up in the air, it's
The
flat
building
around,
was
flat around.
raised 3 feet.
Huh?
The building was raised 3 feet.
Wow, now that's pretty tough for me when I was just over there the other day and it's like, here's the parking lot and
Ask
you
your
walk in like this,
supervisor over
you
there.
slide in, huh?
Ask your supervisor over there.
I will, that's the one that told me this, but okay. We will, what I would like to do now that we got this hashed out, we got some people, I don't have a problem because I'm not trying to argue with you or anybody. There's some facts here. I'd like the people to do some looking, do some asking on your own. And then I would love to come back here again in 2 weeks. And I will love to, you know, I guess I can look at it on Facebook. I'll look at your drawings of the place flood on Facebook. And then, I was over there during the middle of it. Of course, I granted the tide gates were up because the water was down. You still had flooding above his culvert, below his culvert. It was 6 feet down through that creek. So it shows that our big need, and I think the big need of spending money is to fix them 3 culverts. His culvert doesn't need to be replaced. The riverbed down there, the creek bed, needs to be gouged out down so that culvert will run full flow instead of partially blocked. The first one, if you're part of the road crew, I don't understand when that washed out, why you put 2 48s in instead of maybe putting a couple 60s in it.
I wasn't here 40-some years ago.
Okay, well then, I apologize for that for you, because you can see when you go down the creek, they recognize they needed 60-inch culverts. And putting 48 in there, I don't care how much pressure you have, you get a hose a certain size, a pipe a certain size, that's it. It handles so much water, that's it. That one needs to be a change.
I don't think anybody's disagreeing with you on the culverts themselves. We have said that, but we cannot pass it down too fast. Where are you gonna send the water? The dike was built to handle a certain amount of water over a period of time. That flood that came up that morning crested about 7:30 to 8 o'clock. By 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it was down well within its banks because the tide gates opened and they did their jobs.
Yeah, they were proper.
Okay? If we could have got about 3 hours of storage up at the dam, we could have mitigated quite a bit of that flooding. All of it? No. We have never said that. We have never said it would be designed for a 100-year storm, a 50-year storm, a 20-year storm. It is designed to reduce flood hazard reduction, provide fish passage, and also restore some of the surrounding habitat. It's a multifaceted project. We had initially looked at funding for the culverts all at the same time. We were told they would not fund it that way. And that was with the flood authority. Culverts were the top priority, actually to remove culverts, put in natural bottom,
Oh, I know that.
you know, arch
That's
pipes or
beyond,
bridges.
that's too much cost, it's beyond.
But that's what we're gonna have to do to meet current standards. And so nobody disagrees with you on the culverts. The sequencing, we're doing it this way because this is the way we can get it funded. And it's all in the Mill Creek multi-objective plan. It's in our hazard mitigation plan. But nobody is disagreeing with you on the culverts. The sequencing, well, we would love to do it all at the same time.
Well, yeah.
You know, we can't.
Okay, I can go this, and I'm not even asking for all at once. What I'm asking for, we have a very powerful lady up here on the flood board. We have Kathy Holder now that agrees with her on needs for over here. We have Ken Estes, while he's there, up there, yeah, on the flood board. We have some people down here where we have a very loud voice down here. I think to fix them couple undersized culverts and to clean them, I bet you that they could work with some support from us and pick up an extra $1 or $2 to take care of that. I really seriously do. If we all got together as a group, I'm not fighting you on the dam. I'm fighting you that I don't think that you're gonna be satisfied unless you get rid of them first couple culverts there. I really don't. Okay. Anybody?
Thank you.
Well, thank you. I would love to come back in 2 weeks. There's a whole bunch of packets there for people to read. I have a.
Your appearance will be at the suffrage of the mayor, thank you.
Oh, okay, I appreciate
I
that.
see a hand in the back.
Okay,
Miss, would you?
yep.
May I come forward?
Yes, you may. Provided we know who you are and where you live.
I'm Vicki Rains, 526 Troon Avenue.
Good evening, Mrs.
There's a
Raines.
second page to the attachment, and it doesn't have any logos. Where did this come from?
The measurements on
Uh-huh.
the culverts, the
Uh-huh.
ones, I personally crawled that whole thing from the high gate to there.
Are you, do you have a civil engineering degree?
No, but I had some engineers that
Are
looked at
you
the pipe.
a hydrologist in any fashion?
No, but I got people that look at it.
Now,
Okay.
If I may, I'm gonna ask you to take a seat for a second, because I've got a couple things that I'd like to explain.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank
Okay.
you, Mr. Gordon, please take your seat.
I sure would, thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Ray?
When we had the initial project we put forth for the replacement of Mill Creek Dam, we figured it was gonna be right around $2.2 million, somewhere in there. And the governor, at the time, Governor Gregoire gave us more money than that, and so, in the last biennium. However, when we went to have the project scoped and designed, we were told by Fish and Wildlife, because there were salmon species in Mill Creek, that we had to put in fish habitat, or fish passage, to allow for fish habitat. In addition to that, in order to get over and fix the dam, as which Darren can confirm this, those of you that have been to the park, there's a series of railroad tie built stairs. Those stairs have to come out. In order to have access put back in, when you put the access back in, you have to make it ADA accessible, which is about another $250,000 to $300,000. Monies were not asked for that because it wasn't anything that we were made aware of. What occurred was the dam safety office, there's no pun there, that's what it's called, the dam safety office, because the dam had been down, had breached at least 3 years prior. When we went to replace it, it was considered a new dam to start from scratch. Okay, at that particular time, we had a decision to make, and we were sitting there with this chunk of money that we really couldn't do anything with other than to start the preliminary engineering and design, the scoping work, which the Public Works Department, and a variety of folks have worked on. HDR Engineering, which also did the Little Hope'Whim Dam in Hope'Whim. And, but I can tell you, at that particular time, many of you know, we transferred a chunk of change over to the city of Montesano so that they could finish 2 projects. Their water treatment facility and the steel wall dike over near Mary's River that's actually on the city of Montesano's property. I can tell you, and Public Works, Community Development can confirm, that even if we'd had all of the money at that time, we would be no closer than we are today due to permitting and Army Corps of Engineer, etc. So we thought it was in the best interest. We brought home $16.5 million to Grays Harbor during that time frame, and then in that biennium. In this biennium, there is about $12 million in projects, and over half of it's coming back to Grays Harbor to be done. And one of them is this project. I'm frustrated because I believe, and I appreciate Commissioner Gordon's compliments, but I'm a taxpayer in Cosmopolis as well. And while I may not have done everything perfect as mayor, I did do a lot of things that were pretty good, in my opinion. And one of them was to get this dam on the list. And I've attended nearly every meeting since 2011 and been selected as chair repeatedly since that time frame. And I want the dam replaced. Do culverts need to be redone and replaced? Absolutely. They gave us an estimate of an additional $4.7 million. We don't have that in this biennium. Will we ask for it going forward? Absolutely, we will. It'll be the next project that Cosmopolis does. But you're gonna take what you can get and you're gonna do the best that you have with it. We knew we needed $3.5 million, and that's what we got in this biennium to move forward with this project. I believe, and this is my personal opinion, and it's been very, very frustrating for me since January, this is a political move because my name is attached to Cosmopolis as the former mayor to have this project stopped, and it's ridiculous. I have tried working with my seatmates. I have only the issue with one, but the dam should be replaced. And the study, if you look at the information that Commissioner Gordon gave you, he actually highlights it on the last page. It says, second to the last line, it is difficult to judge whether the projects represent an effective use of limited flood reduction funds available to the Chehalis River Basin Flood Authority. That's because Larry Karpak, the engineer from Watershed Science and Engineering, impeccable man. He's doing the study with HDR as part of that group, Anchor QEA. There's several of them teamed up to look at the retention facility in the upper basin above PL. He knows what he's talking about. What he said was, he doesn't have enough information. I spoke to him. I have a meeting scheduled for our legislatures, for Senator Hargrove, for Representative Blake, Theringer, and a slew of people that will be coming down to have a meeting, not just this project, but regarding one also responsible to the county. My frustration comes because it was on the last biennium list, and we needed more funding. We've got the more funding, and you have someone that just wants to thwart the project. And I'm sorry, Mr. Gordon, but that's how I feel that it's been, ongoing. There was a comment made on KXRO 1320 AM, that's where Mr. Gordon said that he would do anything, including contacting the state of Washington and the federal government to ensure that dam is not replaced. This is District 3, excuse me, District 3, yes, this is District 3. He is District 2. This is not a county issue. It's a municipal issue.
Absolutely.
This is our city, as taxpayers. I'm a taxpayer, just like every one of you are. And my goal since Veterans Day 2008 was to come up with we had 3 things. If you remember, back in 2010, Mayor Chestnut, we had 3 things on our goal list. Replace the dam, get a buyer for the mill, and finish the downtown corridor project. We've been waiting for this project for that long. And I say, pull the crap out of the way and get the project done. Thank you.
I'd like to have just one quick answer to that, and then we can move on.
Okay, you got
No argument.
very brief, we're going.
It will be very brief. It's just, this is a letter from Mrs. Raines that she sent. One conclusion, the evaluation comment of both projects is not sufficient to determine, this is her letter, to determine if the projects can achieve their objectives for reducing flooding impact in their respective communities. That's Wisconsin. This is her letter. This isn't my letter. Then it says a technical feasibility analysis should be conducted as soon as possible for both projects to determine if they can achieve the flood damage reduction benefits desired by the respective communities. If current project designs cannot achieve the desired results, then an alternative to provide flood protection should be identified. That's her letter. I appreciate the letter.
Okay.
Mr. Chestnut, if I can clarify, that report given by
Okay,
me
one
is.
more and that's it.
That's fine, that's fine. I'll run out of time. That report that you have before you is from the Executive Committee of the Flood Authority to the Projects Committee. As a citizen, my opinion is different than what the Flood Authority Executive Board presented. In addition to that, the Flood Authority, for which I had a vote, took a vote to supersede that document and move ahead and give authorization for the project to move forward as slated.
Yes, I was about to make that comment, because it was a 20-minute speech of mine that preceded that action.
Yes, sir.
It wasn't a bad speech either. Gotta pat myself on the back. In any event, this report was considered, and the Flood Authority then went ahead. Mr. Gordon, please take your seat.
Oh, okay.
Please take your seat.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
So in any event, Mr. Somerville